In the news tonight, His Majesty the King delivers a message to the Jordanian people on the occasion of national holidays and attends a celebration by the Jordan Armed Forces at the Martyrs Monument. Insurgents seize control of the northern Iraqi city of Mosul, and the United States condemns the attack and says it supports a strong coordinated response to push back against the aggression. And Pakistan's Taliban insurgents claim responsibility for an attack on a security academy at Karachi's airport. Good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. Here are the details. Jordan marks the anniversary of Army Day and the Great Arab Revolt, when the Emir of Mecca and the King's great-great-grandfather, Sharif Hussein bin Ali, led an uprising against Ottoman rule in the region. The revolt marks a milestone in the country's history as it led to the establishment of the modern Kingdom of Jordan. On this occasion, His Majesty delivered a congratulatory message to the Jordanian people.
On the occasion of the Army Day and the Great Arab Revolt, His Majesty King Abdullah stressed the need to continue working and building on the achievements of the Jordanian people's ancestors with the same will, determination, and insistence on safeguarding their independence. The King said in congratulatory comments to Jordanians that the 68th anniversary of independence embodies the will of the true Jordanian people. It is also an occasion to celebrate the anniversary of the Great Arab Revolt and Army Day, recalling the great sacrifices made by Jordan, which remains loyal to the message of the Great Arab Revolt and its Arab and Islamic principles. His Majesty voiced his pride in members of the Jordanian armed forces and security agencies as protectors of the country's independence, the homeland's invincible shield and fortress, and a symbol of sacrifice and national dignity. It has been 15 years since His Majesty assumed responsibilities, where he worked close to the people to enhance the progressive march of modern Jordan as a state of institutions and an oasis of security, stability, freedom, democracy, and respect of human dignity. The King said that he continues to derive his determination and strength from the will of the Jordanians and their support and sacrifices, so that the kingdom can remain strong, noting that the country has overcome many hardships and made many accomplishments. His Majesty assured that despite all the difficult circumstances facing the region, Jordan is safe and strong due to the people's determination, saying he is confident the future will be better. Farah Ajluni for the news at 10.
His Majesty, the Supreme Commander of the Jordan Armed Forces, accompanied by Crown Prince Al Hussein, were present early this evening at a celebration by the Armed Forces at the Palace of Culture on the occasion of national holidays. Earlier in the day, the Armed Forces held a celebration at the Martyrs Monument, where His Majesty was received with a 21-gun salute and greeted by the Guards of Honor. King Abdullah, accompanied by Crown Prince Hussein, toured the monument area and watered the blessed olive tree. His Majesty also signed the visitor's book. Director of the General Intelligence Department received the prestigious Al-Nahda Medal of the First Order in recognition of his dedicated efforts to the country. His Majesty the King bestowed the medal on Shobaki today as a symbol of appreciation for his long public service as well as distinguished performance in the various positions that he has assumed. Baghdad has asked for U.S. support after radical Sunni Muslim insurgents seized control of most of the city of Mosul. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki urged the international community to support his country in its fight against terrorism and asked Parliament to declare a state of emergency.
First, the Council of Ministers decided to declare the state of high alert and mobilize all efforts to face up to the existing challenges. The seriousness of the security situation needs immediate and swift measures to preserve the national security.
State television said the Speaker of Parliament has scheduled an emergency session for Thursday to vote on the motion, which requires a two-thirds majority. The insurgents had overrun a military base and freed hundreds of prisoners. The capture of Mosul by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, an offshoot of Al-Qaeda and its allies, followed 4 days of fierce fighting in Mosul and other cities and towns in northern Iraq. Police, military and security officials said the insurgents, armed with anti-aircraft weapons and rocket-propelled grenades, have taken over almost all police and army checkpoints in and around the Mosul area. Furthermore, the militants are said to have used cranes to move blast walls into position and block roads to prevent the army from regaining control. Parliament Speaker Osama Najaifi said it wasn't just Mosul that was under threat, but the entire northern province of Nineveh. Speaking at a news conference in Baghdad, he said Iraq is facing a serious crisis with the invasion of the country by terrorist groups from different countries and described their action as blatant.
When battles intensified inside the city of Mosul, the forces abandoned their weapons and the commanders fled, leaving behind weapons, armored vehicle. Their positions were easily prey for terrorists. Even Mosul Airport, planes and command position, all of them have fallen in addition to weapons caches. Also prisons were stormed and criminals have been set free. What happened is a catastrophe by any measure. I spoke to the US ambassador an hour ago and I asked the United States to play a role in supporting Iraq against this terrorist attack in the framework of the strategic agreement. And they promised to discuss this issue urgently. I also asked for urgent relief for the displaced by the international community.
The U.S. State Department condemned the insurgent attack on the Iraqi city of Mosul and said the situation remains extremely serious. The U.S. State Department said U.S. officials support a strong coordinated response to push back against the aggression, adding the U.S. will provide all appropriate assistance to the government of Iraq under the Strategic Framework Agreement between the two nations. The White House also reacted to the attack on Mosul, saying the United States would continue its support of the Iraqi government, but would also call on it to do a better job of appealing to all Iraqis. Deputy White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said that while the U.S. can provide important military assistance to improve the security situation in Iraq, addressing these challenges is going to require a commitment by the Iraqi leadership to confront the kinds of unresolved issues that are facing all of the people in Iraq. And spokesman for the UN Secretary General said Ban Ki-moon is gravely concerned about the deteriorating security situation in Iraq's second largest city of Mosul. The spokesman said the UN assistance mission for Iraq stands ready to support such efforts. The Israeli parliament elected Reuven Rivlin to replace outgoing President Shimon Peres as ceremonial head of state. Peres ends his 7-year presidential term next month. 74-year-old Rivlin is a member of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party. He defeated Meir Shetrit of the moderate Hatuna party by a vote of 63 to 53 in a runoff after none of the original 5 candidates won an outright victory in a first-round ballot. Unlike Peres, Rivlin opposes the creation of a Palestinian state and has called for a confederation with the Palestinians rather than negotiating an independent state for them. In an interview last month with the Times of Israel, Rivlin promised that if elected president, he would not seek to intervene in the decisions of the country's elected politicians on peacemaking or other issues. A leader from the Palestinian Hamas group accused President Mahmoud Abbas's Fatah party of jeopardizing a reconciliation deal just a week after a unity government was formed to end their feuding. Problems between the two sides surfaced days after the new administration took office, when it failed to pay some 40,000 civil servants hired by Hamas in Gaza, saying the employees had to be evaluated before receiving their salary. Angry police loyal to Hamas in the Gaza Strip ordered the closure of all banks until the issue was resolved, dealing a fresh blow to an already sickly economy. The tensions also shifted to the West Bank when Hamas said that security forces loyal to Abbas had used violence to break up a rally organized by the movement. Syrian authorities began freeing detainees under the amnesty decree issued yesterday by President Bashar al-Assad in what will be the most comprehensive amnesty in 40 years since Hafez al-Assad came to power. Tens of thousands of people have been arrested in Syria since a new law on terrorism was issued in July 2012, several months after the conflict. Scores of detainees were freed in rural Damascus yesterday, and a new batch was to leave detention today. The presidential decree covers suspects in terrorism cases, provided they hand themselves over to authorities, as well as activists and opposition figures. According to the Damascus-based British Human Rights Observatory, there are more than 100,000 detainees in Syrian prisons. Iran's talks with 6 major powers on curbing its nuclear program in exchange for an end to Western sanctions could be extended for 6 months if no deal is reached by July 20th deadline, according to Iran's chief negotiator at talks in Geneva. Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described today's talks in Geneva as positive and said now is too soon to judge whether more time will be needed. French Foreign Ministry spokesman Romain Nadal said the priority was not the July 20 deadline, but to achieve a deal that guaranteed that Tehran would not obtain a nuclear weapon. French officials are due to meet Iranian negotiators tomorrow before the 6 world powers meet to assess their strategy ahead of the next round of official negotiations with Iran beginning in Vienna on the 16th.
The goal is to come to a better understanding of the differences which exist on each and every question, and have more consultations, more exchanges of view, try to bridge the gaps which exist, and that would happen next week in real negotiations with Lady Ashton.
Back here at home, the Ministry of Planning and International Cooperation began preparation of an integrated framework for the economic and social policies Vision 2025. Minister of Planning and International Cooperation Brahim Saif said the vision is expected to be completed by end of this year. Speaking at a news conference today, he said the framework will be drafted through technical committees with the participation of the government, the 2 houses of parliament, the private sector, civil society institutions, as well as research and academic institutions. The Royal Vision is to be based on sound principles such as maintaining financial and monetary stability, improving the business environment, and promoting policies that encourage innovation. It also adopts decentralization policies that are relevant to the respective regions, scrutinizing public spending and improving the overall government services provided to citizens in various segments. Her Majesty Queen Rania joined youth taking part in 2 voluntary initiatives by Ahl al-Balad and Art for All, currently being carried out at the Amman Citadel area. Ahl al-Balad is a community-based movement that aims to spread awareness on creating safer, healthier and cleaner communities in Jordan, while Art for All seeks to beautify neighborhoods through street wall art. Both initiatives, according to their organizers, aim to promote volunteerism, social activism among all Jordanians, as well as a sense of ownership of one's area and neighborhood. Her Majesty spoke with youth taking part in a cleanup campaign carried out by Ahl al-Balad, which has to date conducted 7 cleanup activities in different parts of the Greater Amman area. Her Majesty also stopped to take a look at murals created by Art for All. The initiative invites artists from all over the world to participate in transforming and beautifying areas while also discovering local talents. Pakistan's Taliban insurgents claimed responsibility for an attack on a security academy at Karachi's airport. The attack comes less than 48 hours after an all-night siege by Taliban gunmen at Pakistan's busiest airport that killed more than 30 people. A group of gunmen on motorbikes opened fire on the academy run by the airport security force and fled after security forces retaliated. 10 militants disguised as security force members and armed with rocket-propelled grenades broke into the airport in the first attack. At least 34 people were killed. Storms that swept Germany's most populous state have left at least 6 people killed and 30 others injured. The storms forced Düsseldorf Airport, the third largest airport in the country, to shut down, with falling trees leaving some roads impassable. After a scorching hot 3 days, thunderstorms, strong winds and heavy rain pounded the western state of North Rhine-Westphalia. Incoming flights at Düsseldorf Airport were diverted, while other flights were cancelled, and numerous train services are still suspended. British Foreign Secretary William Hague and actress Angelina Jolie vowed to produce practical action from the world's first summit on ending sexual violence in conflict to punish those responsible and help the victims. The 4-day event in London opened with Hague unveiling a $10 million fund for victims from the UK government. The conference, to be attended by the U.S. Secretary of State, would agree to push for international standards on recording and investigating sex crimes to bring more people to justice. Some 1,200 government ministers, military and judicial officials, and activists from 150 countries are due to attend the summit. A recent run of shocking cases of violence against women, including the kidnapping of hundreds of girls in Nigeria, the stoning to death of a pregnant woman in Pakistan, and the gang rape and murder of 2 Indian teenagers, is expected to raise the pressure on the world community for action rather than just promises.
As Eleanor Roosevelt once said,
we want this summit to shatter the culture of impunity for sexual violence, to increase support for survivors, and to start changing the situation on the ground in the most affected countries and rebuild communities. There is power in numbers, and if we unite behind this cause, we can create an unstoppable momentum and consign this vile abuse to history. In Syria,
this whole subject has been taboo for far too long. War zone rape is a crime that thrives on silence and denial. Turn to when we're wronged and institution. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, the destiny of human rights is in the hands of all our citizens and all our communities. And this evil will continue ruining the lives of millions of people unless we make this summit a turning point.
Brazil is taking few chances when it comes to security, with the country still rattled by mass protests and labor strikes just 2 days until the World Cup. Top Brazilian security forces revealed that some 100,000 police officers are on patrol throughout Brazil's 12 host cities. A further 57,000 soldiers, sailors, and other troops have been deployed, coordinated jointly at command centers in each host city. Overall, the government is investing about $850 million in security. This covers everything from protecting the 32 teams to containing street protests, airspace surveillance, and protection against cyber and terrorist attacks. Asian Football Confederation AFC President Sheikh Salman bin Ibrahim Al Khalifa won a crucial political victory when an extraordinary Congress held in Sao Paulo voted to merge the region's presidency with the FIFA vice presidency. Bahrain's Sheikh Salman won a lopsided election last year to replace Qatari Mohammed bin Hammam, who was banned for life by FIFA 3 years ago for corruption, for a 2-year term at the helm of the continent's governing body of the sport. The new AFC president to be elected next year will automatically assume the position of FIFA Vice President, currently held by His Royal Highness Prince Ali ibn al-Hussein. The AFC has 4 seats in total on FIFA's decision-making body, 3 of which will come up for re-election in 2015.
I believe that this mixture has also impacted our reputation and our credibility.
And finally, fair weather continues tonight in most regions with northwesterly light to moderate winds. Tomorrow, normal summer conditions prevail. Skies will be partly cloudy with northwesterly moderate winds stirring dust in the Badia region. The Gulf of Aqaba should expect a relatively hot day tomorrow with northerly moderate to fresh winds and calm seas. Here now is a look at temperatures forecast for tonight and tomorrow. And to close, here's a reminder of the day's top stories. His Majesty the King delivers a message to the Jordanian people on the occasion of national holidays and attends a celebration by the Jordan Armed Forces at the Martyrs Monument. Insurgents seize control of the northern Iraqi city of Mosul, and the United States condemns the attack and says it supports a strong, coordinated response to push back against the aggression. And Pakistan's Taliban insurgents claim responsibility for an attack on a security academy at Karachi's airport. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of the news. I'm Arif Khan. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.